NBA 2K26 is right around the corner, and I know you guys are super excited about creating your first build, but I want to give you guys 15 mistakes that you guys need to avoid when creating your first build or really any future builds. So if you found this video helpful, just leave a like and subscribe. Let's get right into it. The first mistake to avoid is not paying attention to your max potential attributes. And you're going to see your max potential attributes on the My Player Builder screen, and your max potential attributes change when you change your height, weight, and wingspan. So if you're going to be making your first build based on cap breakers, whether that's through build specialization, whether that's through a cap breaker at level 40 in the first season, like as a reward, you have to pay attention to your max potential attributes. So if you take a look at this build, the max potential driving dunk rating you can get is a 96. So this is the mistake a lot of people do. They'll upgrade their build, they'll upgrade, let's say their driving dunk up to a 96 at their max potential. And let's say they have 3 cap breakers. Now, instantly they may think, oh, now I can get my driving dunk, up to a 99 after I put the 3 cap breakers on it. But that's not the case. You can literally not go past your max potential rating. However, if my max potential driving dunk rating is a 99, I upgrade my driving dunk to a 96 and then use my 3 cap breakers, it can work like that. So just keep that in mind when you're creating your first build. Look at the max potential attributes if you're going to be basing your build off of cap breakers. The second mistake you need to avoid when creating your first build in 2K26 is by putting attributes in random places that do not meet badge requirements. For example, this is my 6'8" shooting guard build that I uploaded yesterday. Check it out. It's a really good build. If you take a look at the speed with ball rating right now, it's a 72. Okay. Now the reason you shouldn't put this at 72 or 71 or 73, it's you're just putting it in a random attribute. You want to meet a badge requirement. Okay. So I'm going to upgrade this build, or the speed with ball, sorry. I'm going to upgrade it to 75. And as you guys can see, my lightning launch just went up from bronze. Take a look at the bottom. And it goes up to silver once you meet at a 75 speed with ball rating. Another example is pass accuracy. A lot of people may see a 70 pass accuracy and be like, I think that's good enough. I can just go with that. But you're literally one attribute away from silver dimer. So I'm going to upgrade it, and it goes from bronze to silver dimer. So all I'm saying is you just want to meet badge requirements within the attributes when upgrading your first build. And I think going with a 72 pass accuracy would be kind of dumb because you're really not meeting that next threshold for dimer. You can literally apply this with any attribute. Now, the only attributes I really wouldn't apply to this, to be honest, is the 3-point shot and probably the agility rating. 3-point rating, if you're a tall build like a center and you're mainly like an inside that likes to dunk and you want to have like a decent 3-point rating, going with a 74 or 75 is probably worth it. But yeah, all the other attributes, be mindful, meet those badge requirements. The third mistake you want to avoid is by not paying attention to attribute requirements for animations, like any type of animation. For example, if you really want the Jimmy Butler pass style, it requires an 85 pass accuracy rating. So when you're making your build, you need to keep that in mind. Another example, if you want the Jalen Brunson pass style, you got to have a 90 pass accuracy rating. So again, keep this in mind when creating your build. Do not rush your build in 2K26, guys. Please get in the lab it up, figure it out. Another example is contact dunks. A lot of people put their driving dunk up to like a 96 and they forget to upgrade their vertical. So make sure you pay attention to the attribute requirements for the dunk animations as well, and for the contact dunks. The fourth mistake you want to avoid when creating your build is by not planning out which build specialization you're going to be using on your build. So remember, if you want to unlock finishing, shooting, playmaking, defense, rebounding, you have to meet these attribute requirements as shown right here in this screenshot. And remember, at goal 8 in every single build specialization, you are going to unlock your second cap breaker. So in my opinion, your first build or any future build, you need to be making your build based off of 2 cap breakers for that build specialization. And also, if you go with shooting build specialization, you can only put your cap breakers from your build specialization in shooting attributes or physical attributes. So if you unlock, your second cap breaker in the shooting build specialization, you cannot put that specific cap breaker in finishing or playmaking or defense. You can only use it in shooting or the physicals. So keep that in mind. Don't waste your money. The fifth mistake you want to avoid is by picking useless heights for your build. When picking your height, you really want to think about the attributes you want and what they're going to get you. Will they get you badges, or are they going to get you animations? Keep that in mind. For example, at the point guard position, I think there is no reason to go 6'5" or 6'7", and let me tell you why. For example, at 6'5", you cannot equip the Ja Morant dribble style, which in my opinion is one of the best dribble styles and fastest dribble styles in the game. Now look, you meet the speed with ball requirement. Okay, it only requires an 85 speed with ball. You have an 86. However, you have to be 6'4" or shorter to get this animation unlocked. This is the way I look at it. You're 6'5", you might as well just drop it to 6'4" and get all those really good animations that you can unlock at 6'4". But if you really want to go with a 6'5" point guard, the only reason you should is to get a 99 3-point rating, okay? That is the tallest you can go in 2K26 and get a 99 3-point rating. Another example is the 6'7" point guard. I just don't like this height at all. The tallest you can go and get an 86 speed with ball to unlock gold lightning launch is 6'6". And I could be wrong, but I just feel like if you're going to go 6'7", you might as well either go 6'6" to get the 86 speed with ball to unlock gold lightning launch, or you just go 6'8" and go with a 75 speed with ball. And if you want to use your max +2, you know, on that, you could get that up to Hall of Fame if you want. Now, the only reason I would say go 6'7" is for a couple reasons. Number one is because that is the tallest you can go at the point guard position. So if you really want to play the point guard role, you know, in fives, rec, pro-am, random rec, and you want to be 6'7" and go as tall as you can, then do that. And if you really want to go 6'7", the only other reason to go that height is because I think that's the tallest you can go to get gold handles for days, you know, with a 90 to 91 ball handle rating. The sixth mistake you want to avoid when creating your build in 2K26 is by not prioritizing mid-range over your three-point shot. Now, this is mainly for guards that are 6'6" or taller, or even popper builds or any type of center builds. The mid-range will give you more badges and it will save attributes. Now, I do not recommend doing this on any build that's like 6'4" or shorter. I definitely think you should go with a higher three ball and a lower mid-range. The high mid-range rating with those really high tier shooting badges are going to accommodate for that lower three-point shot rating. The seventh mistake you want to avoid when creating your build is by not planning it out based on the max +1s, the max +2s from the season pass, and your build specialization. When creating your build, you really need to pay attention to which badges are tier 1 badges and tier 2 badges. For example, my build yesterday, I went with a 93 driving dunk and I have an 80 vertical, and I also have gold posterizer. However, I'm planning my build out. Once I unlock my build specialization within finishing, I'm going to use my max +2 from finishing's build specialization on gold posterizer. Again, it's going to make it go from gold posterizer to legend. Okay, so again, guys, plan your build based on these max +1s, tier 1, max +2s, tier 1, tier 2, and also your max +1 and max +2 from your build specialization. I know that sounds confusing, but stay with me, lock it in, don't waste money. Come on. The eighth mistake you want to avoid is by not paying attention to the attribute requirements for a specific takeover that you want. For example, if I wanted the Fortress takeover with the glue ability, I wouldn't be able to get this. I do meet the requirement for the steal rating. If you guys can see at the bottom right, I have an 85 steal, so I meet that requirement. However, I only have an 83 perimeter defense rating, and it requires an 85. So keep that in mind. Pay attention. Look at the takeover abilities, the takeover requirements. Lock it in. Don't waste your money. The ninth mistake you need to avoid is by thinking you don't need a steal rating or a block rating. Now, for all my lockdown defenders, obviously this does not apply to you. This really applies to all my footers out there, my 7-foot builds or taller, or the little guards. There's a lot of big man and centers out there that prioritize the block rating and the interior defense rating, which is good, but you need to keep in mind the steal rating is very good. There's a lot of big men out there that know they can't get like a 92 or a really super high steal rating, so they just don't even upgrade it. But in my opinion, you need to upgrade it to at least 60 so you can get bronze interceptor. That it comes in handy. It helps out a lot. Another example, little guards, all my little 6'4", 6'2", 6'1" guards out there. You guys think I'm already short, you know, I mean, I don't need a block rating. That is not true, okay? A lot of people think block rating is only going to help you literally get a block inside the paint when someone's trying to go up with a dunk or a layup, but the block rating helps perimeter contest as well. So yeah, little guards, upgrade your block, please. And centers, upgrade your steal up to a 60. The 10th mistake you want to avoid is by not putting your ball handle rating up to an 85 at the minimum, okay, at the point guard position or any type of point guard role. A few weeks ago on Twitter, Mike Wang said to get the tier 3 momentum crossover, which is one of the most effective moves in the game, it requires an 85 ball handle rating or higher. And this type of information is not in the builder, so keep that in mind, guys, okay? 85 ball handle or higher. But if you want the slightly slower tier 2 momentum crossover, you got to have a 60 ball handle or higher. And if you want the tier 1 momentum crossover, which is by far the slowest, you just got to have below, you know, a 60 ball handle rating. So if you want that, go for it. The 11th mistake you want to avoid is by overlooking your physical attributes. For example, even though the agility rating itself is not tied into Shifty Shooter with the badge this year in 2K26, it doesn't mean that you should not upgrade it. Agility is going to be very good for off-ball cuts on offense, dexing back and forth, and it's very good for defense as well. Another example is vertical. A lot of big men overlook this. They think just because they upgrade their rebounding up to 99 or 96 that vertical really doesn't matter, and it does, because first off, you have to have a certain vertical rating to get rebound chaser or a lot of the rebound badges. And just in general, vertical is very good because it helps you jump higher. So yeah, don't overlook speed, agility, strength, or vertical. The 12th mistake you want to avoid is by not considering upgrading the very cheap attributes for your build. For example, this build is a 6'8" shooting guard build, and I'm a 98 overall at the moment, and I'm going to bring my offensive rebound from a 25 all the way up into the 70s. So now I'm going to get a badge like Rebound Chaser on bronze, and I'm going to get Box Out Beast on silver. Yes, these badges aren't going to be as good as, Rebound Chaser on legend or whatever, but still, it's very cheap, and why not put it on? The 13th mistake you want to avoid is by thinking the max +2 badge perks will save your bronze badges. For example, if you go with a 60 still rating, you're going to unlock Bronze Interceptor. And there's going to be some people that think I could just use my max +2 on Bronze Interceptor, get it up to gold, and now I'm going to be in the lanes, I'm going to be hawking the passes. And I don't think that's going to be true. I don't know if you guys saw, but there was an interview with Mike Wang and Joe Knows, and Mike Wang said that the attribute ratings still matter. So for example, I think a 60 still rating, getting Bronze Interceptor, using your max +2 to get Gold Interceptor is going to be completely different from an 85 still rating and getting naturally that Gold Interceptor badge. That 85 still rating alone is going to be incredibly better than a 60 still rating. So keep that in mind. Don't waste your max +2s, or don't rely on the max +2s to save the lower ratings. The 14th mistake you want to avoid when creating your build is by not making your build based off the game modes that you play. For example, if you play ones or if you play twos, please, I cannot stress this enough, put your perimeter defense up, put your steal rating up, put your block rating up, put your interior defense up. It's very important if you play ones or twos like that. However, if you do play point guard, on the threes courts with a full squad, maybe you don't need as much defense as you think, because you're going to be playing with another lockdown defender on the court. So be mindful of creating your build based on the game modes that you do play. And the 15th mistake you want to avoid is not double checking your attributes, aka min-maxing your build. Take a look at the mid-range rating and take a look at the close shot. They are tied together. I'm going to upgrade my mid-range up to a 93, and notice how my close shot goes up to a 78 as well. However, if I do want to cap break the mid-range rating, I'm going to bring it down to a 92. Boom. Okay, now notice the close shot is still a 78. And this is what I mean by min-maxing every build. Instead of leaving the close shot rating at a 78, I'm going to go all the way over and put it back down to a 77, just like that. So I save more attributes for other areas on my build. But these are the 15 mistakes you need to avoid when creating your first build or any future builds in 2K26. If you guys found this video helpful, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. And I will be seeing you guys in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace.